And welcome to Curtzy Crochet Hooks. Please enjoy our free tutorials with just one of a 24-part series on teaching you how to crochet. Subscribe to start receiving our 24 courses that are delivered to your email inbox every few days. By the time you're done, you'll know the ins and outs of crochet. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Twitter. So now let's get crocheting with Curtzy.
And welcome back to the Curtzy Crochet Hook program. I'm all dressed up again because we're still working with jeweler wire when it comes to using your crochet hooks to make something really fabulous. Today's lesson we're going to learn how to actually make a bracelet, and I think it's really appropriate because in the end of this tutorial you'll have something that you can actually wear and wear very proudly, knowing that you've just graduated the Curtzy Crochet Hook program. So let's get you started on how to make this bracelet right from scratch. We're going to apply some beads, and we're also going to show you how to finish off your bracelet at the end. In today's tutorial we're going to be using some artistic wire, and this is actually a purple color just like you see, and it's actually in a case just like so. We're also going to be using the nail clippers in order to clip the wire. I'm also going to be using some pliers. I'm going to be using the Curtzy aluminum hook. It's a size 5.0 millimeter. Honest to God real crystals just like so. Yes, I'm stepping up the ante a little bit, so real crystals. I'm also using some really fancy other stuff. I want this bracelet to be purple as my main color, and then with a splash of other colors just like you see here. And what I need is a combination of 36 different beads, and what I have here is that I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do in order to start. So let's get your material prepared, and let's open this up and start your crochet tutorial. Now the magic number is 9, so no matter what you want to do here, you always want to have 9. And if it helps you to lay it out in advance, you can do so. And I have a really weird shape here, teardrop of crystal, so I want to make that the center of the top of my hand, and then it has to be 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So what I tend to do is work from the center, work on out, and just because it looks like it's all sequential right here doesn't mean it has to be, but I want one of them to be it because I want to make sure that these go all the way around my arm and I just don't end up with a chunk of crystal on one part of my bracelet and not another. Okay, all my crystals are now on my wire, and now I'm going to begin and create a slip knot just like I've showed you in the other two tutorials. Slip in my crochet hook just like so, and I want it to be generous on the tail. Remember, we're going to be using that to help fasten in this bracelet in the end. So now I want you to chain 3. This does not count as 1. So 1, 2, and 3. And now we're going to begin. So what we just need to do is just slide up. I'm going to slide a crystal up, catch the crystal on the other side, just like so, and then 2. So I always say 1 and 2. So let me slide the next one. So it's up. So I'm going to go 1 and 2. Slide. 1 and 2. Slide. 1 and 2. So you'll notice where the crystals are, they have more wire going around and through it. Not a big deal. It's pretty cool. So 1 and 2. 1 and 2. So I'm using some beautiful crystals, so if I don't like this bracelet at the end, I'm not too worried about cutting. The wire is so kind of inexpensive, so it's not something that if I have to cut later, I'm going to be that worried about it like breaking the bank, as I can say. And then my last one here, so this is where you have to pay attention. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you're thinking to yourself, okay, you started off with 3 here, but you're starting off with 4 over here, and watch what happens. I'm going to cut, leaving a nice generous tail, and I'm going to pull, and look what happens to the last one. That's right. And so when I pull this one, look what happens. Just like so. So you want to make sure that you kind of match it as best as it can. And so this is one of the 4 chains that you'll do. So what I want you to do is take in the rest of your beads here, lay them out in sets of 9, and do exactly what I just showed you. So now I'm going to start playing with these colors and seeing what I can come up with. So you want 4 of these chains. Okay, so now I put these all together, and just like so, so now there is 4 sets. You can do 3, you can do 6, you can do as many as you want. It's up to you. So now you want to look at it from a point of view of artistic and make sure that there's nothing that's out of balance. Sometimes when you put these things together, maybe I put too much pink on one side, so if I want to change it, like for example I got too pink close to this side but not enough pink on the other, I can just simply rotate these around just like so. And what I want to just do now is I'm satisfied is that, and sometimes being random too is just as good. So I want to grab these all by the last piece, okay, so that they're all together, and I want to twist these all together. So I'm going to twist the last stitch together. So I'm twisting and pulling, and I want to look at it one more time, making sure everything is going to come together. So now what I'm going to just do now is that I'm going to divide these into 3, so you actually see 4, so I'm going to make 2 together, and I'm going to start braiding them. So I'm just going to start manipulating and braiding the 3 together. The braiding technique is pretty standard when it comes to the jewelry, and what you're just doing here is that you're making the rocks and the crystals all look like they're just randomly put on, but in actual fact you know the secret that you've put on 9 on each. And so by just braiding them, you're kind of making it look like a jumbled creative artwork, really. So I'm just continuing to go, and I want to braid right to the end. Okay. And sometimes you end up with some wires that are longer than others, and so what we want to do at the end, we just kind of want to pull and push them all back into configuration. And so therefore you got this so far. Look how fabulous that is. I'm loving it already. Sorry, you calm down. I love making these jewelry. So at the end I want to twist all of these. I am so going upstairs after I'm done this tutorial to show Daniel. I think this is so cool. So one thing with the wire, if you don't like this crystal being underneath, watch, you can just pop it up. You can manipulate it, you can make it shorter, you can make it smaller, you can make it wider. Lots of creativity. So how are we going to get this bad boy to now fasten as a bracelet? And remember, we can still adjust later on as well. So what I'm going to just do now, this is the end, okay, over here, and I'm going to trim that with my nail cutters, and I'm just going to trim it to the very last one. Last one meaning the shortest one, and that is enough distance. That's all I need. Look at the difference. Okay, and these are called a crimping tube right there. So what we need here first is a ring. So let me insert a ring. So now what we need to do is that we need to insert on the crimping tubes, and we're only going to insert the crimping tube onto 2 of the 4 wires. The reason why is that the thickness of the wires cannot go, you can't get all 4 through that, because what we want to do is just bend it back. You can see I've already done an outtake on this because the wires are already somewhat bent already. My mistake on there, I might as well tell you my mistake, which caused an outtake, is that I thought to myself, I couldn't find a ring in order to do the next part to put on the toggle, so I substituted a chainmail ring. And when I substituted, the chainmail is kind of really flimsy, and the chainmail ring opened right up, causing a lot of problems. So what I want to do is get my normal jewelry rings, just like so, and what I'm going to be using those afterward is to attach the toggle to it. I'm going to put their actual ring, I'm going to put these back together actually, and I put the ring through all 4. Okay, you may have another technique that you like or prefer better, and what I want to just do now is that I want to bend 2 of the wires into one of the crimping tubes. Might require really good lighting. I got lots of good lighting, that's for sure. Sometimes that magnifying glass is really good too. But I've done this several times. I've actually made almost 200 of these bracelets. So these bracelets actually give you a little bit of power to make extra money at markets and stuff if you do it right. When you substitute cheap beads, though, don't expect to sell very many. been there, done that. So here we go. So now they're both through the crimping tube, so now I want to just pull like so, and I want to pull the other two just like so. Okay, I only grabbed one that time. Sometimes grabbing one is better. I'm not just saying that because that's what I did. And what we want to be very careful is that we don't want to, this wire is permanently colored, and what we don't want to do is that we don't want to damage the wire by scrapping any of the coloring off, and it can be very easily happening. So when I'm grabbing it, I'm purposely grabbing way down here so that I can just pull on it. And technically all of these wires should be the same length if I've done it right. Just like so. And so now I'm going to crimp everything down into place. Okay, so everything's crimped. And what I can just do now is that one crimping tube will actually go into all four here. So I'm just going to spin these together. I'm going to trim it so that they're all the same length on the end. And the reason why I'm doing that is that you do not want any of these loose ends to be stabbing anybody. So what you want to just do is at the very end, you just want to keep it close to the end, just like so. And you want to bend these over. Because I was not doing that when I originally did these, and these things is like they almost feel like a bumblebee bite when they're biting, when they're snagging onto your skin, and they're very uncomfortable. So now I'm just going to spin this around the edge, and now what I want to just do, see where I've got this crimping tube ball thing, I want to weave it into one of the sections. And again, I do want to be as delicate with the wire as I possibly can without scratching any of the coating off. You probably wouldn't notice it very much, but why would you want to try to scratch it off too, right? So now that it's through a section, I want to turn it and I want to bend it onto itself so it's right into the actual material. So then that will not snag onto your skin at all. So here is your tube, so you'll need your other set of pliers. Okay, and you'll need the other one, and we want to open this, and there's a huge difference between this one, and we want to put on our first toggle. So basically what I've just showed you now, I want you to repeat on the other side, putting on the opposite toggle, and I'll meet back up with you at the end where we'll just review this product. So just do that again for the other side, and let's see how fabulous you can get your bracelets to be. Well, here it is. So I have my toggles on both sides, just like so. Isn't this absolutely gorgeous? I'm telling you, I was literally just looking through my jewelry stash. I have a few 100,000 beads here in stock because I started wanting to make jewelry on a full-time level, so I started collecting stuff. And I just reached in and I just made a quick decision, and I love it. Look at that. Look how big and bold and bright that is. So this is my crystal crochet bracelet. Oops, sorry. I know that makes a sound when it comes down, but look at that. So I like things when they're moving around, so this one's going to move around on the top, and absolutely gorgeous. So on behalf of Curtzy Crochet Hook, this is your final tutorial of the 24-step program, and we'll see you next time.
So this is it, lesson number 24, and now you got a great bracelet that you can wear and show all your friends and say that you know how to crochet, and you can classify that as a little gift to yourself that you've just graduated our program. I'm your host, Mikey. This is not goodbye, but this is a pause for now. You never know that in the future on this channel that we're going to be posting more video series just like we've just presented now, so that we can expand your creativity even further. We hope that along the way that you came to our website to take a look at our products and see that what we have to offer is really quite amazing. It's more economical for you to be able to buy your crochet hooks within the kits than it is to buy it individually, and I hope that you've been able to see that on our website. So this is not goodbye, but I would say safe journey, and we'll see you next time here at the Curtzy Crochet Hook program. Until next time, I'm your host, Michael Selig.